All right, let's get into somebody who ain't fat. This sucker here in shape. His name is Shannon Sharpe, and he's in talks with ESPN about a contributor role. Let's talk through it, because the role would potentially include a spot on First Take opposite Stephen A. Smith, taking the chair once occupied by Skip Bayless, who was his former colleague, as we know, on FS1's Undisputed. So if he joins ESPN, he wouldn't be a full-time debate partner for Smith. Instead, joining the rotating panel that includes Chris Russo, Mad Dog, and Michael Irvin once he gets off a timeout. What the hell going on with that case right there? But for $100 million, I'm sure Michael Irvin is fine waiting it out. But football is coming, so hurry up and get a ruling on that. All right, so the ESPN role could also include appearances on ESPN's slate of NFL studio shows, including Sunday NFL Countdown, Monday Night Countdown, and NFL Live. Now, when I first read that, I was like, what? Well, I was like, oh, okay, and I'm going to get into it. But at first, you're like, they going to put Shannon Sharpe kind of like in a Ryan Clark role, which is amazing, but you're going from Undisputed with Skip to the Ryan Clark role. Let's be real. Is that a promotion or demotion? It feels like demotion, right? But be careful of thinking that. All right, so a deal between ESPN and Sharpe hasn't been completed, and that Sharpe has talked with several other suitors. I do know that as facts. Over the last week, Sharpe and his representatives have had a series of meetings with other entities. All right, so Sharpe's been teasing his next destination since his departure, with FanDuel also rumored to be in the running for his services, right? And it's funny because I look at Shannon's Instagram, man, the algorithms are that's a sucker right there. I think I follow like 1,000 people. Too many, I know, I get it. But I know a lot of people too. Plus, this is the biggest group text in the world. Like, I ain't gonna be texting Shannon all the time, but I could check his gram and be like, oh, and he always got that man purse. He always got that bag, some muscles on, some shirt, some fresh outfit on, and always going in or out of a place. Like, that's his new thing. Kind of like really setting us optically to him walking into new doors, new horizons, or leaving something old into something new. That's what I've seen a lot of. Maybe haven't seen it all. But it's interesting because we haven't seen him on air since the NBA Finals ended. And then his buyout took into effect. Okay, so I said, be careful calling that a demotion, because you're like, you went from full-time every single day to just once a week with Stephen A. on his terms, on his turf, and then you're going to do all the other shows, which are, let's just say, subordinate to First Take in terms of platform. All right, even though Monday Night Countdown, that's big to me, but it's like in spots. It's like, all right, here we go. And it's like Shannon with 4 other people, and then they all just gonna chime in. All right, go to commercial. Way more people watching that, but you're like, Shannon, how long you in that city? 3 days? You talk for 3 minutes? Okay. Or you can do the pre-games and stuff. Or you can do the panel in the morning, but then you look around, you be like, who else is on Shannon Sharpe's level on the panel? Be real. So I understand what you're saying, but here's why it's a win-win. Because Shannon Sharpe has Club Shay Shay. And Club Shay Shay is 1.2 million plus subscribers. More than that, he owns it now. He owns that. So anything he does is really a commercial blast to get him back to the home base. I think he's looking at this dynamic in this way, if it's ESPN. I'm going to use them at all of their platforms to always remind people to come back to me, Club Shay Shay, in its greatest form. Now, I'm certain if he could sit there opposite of Stephen A. every day, that probably would be the hand raise, except maybe location, right? You never know. Like Shannon had his house burglarized living in LA. Shannon from down south. Shannon like maybe don't want to go to New York or do the whole circuit. Let's admit, Stephen A. is everywhere, right? So that means Shannon may have to be everywhere, even though home base for that show is New York City. You never know how that is. But as a broadcast signal to something that he already has that's lucrative, that now is always going to be the platform for his cognac, for Club Shay Shay, the cognac, which is very important to Shannon. How do you protect that? In negotiations, ESPN may be saying we want to share or license Club Shay Shay. Kind of like what they did for Pat McAfee. We want you, McAfee, but you got to bring that over here as well. So McAfee says, okay, I will, but as long as we still keep it on YouTube for all our subscribers. Okay, let's do that. So then Pat McAfee gets his own show. Club Shay Shay, he ain't getting his own show. So you already see there's a difference in interest or leverage in this conversation than Pat McAfee, right? We'll see. Now, I got to give y'all one little birdie, and this ain't from Shay Shay. This ain't from Shannon. I know someone in the business that is negotiating a 9-figure deal from someone who is a free agent. Now, I can't say who. Want y'all to guess who. Want y'all to tell me who. I got to protect the guilty, y'all. This is not my job. I am not PR. I am not doing Adam Schefter anymore, or as they used to call me, Black Adam Schefter. They were like Blefter. I was Blefter for a while. I am not breaking news. I'm letting y'all guess y'all way to the truth. But I'm letting you know somebody about to get paid. And it ain't McAfee because he already got paid. So, all right. Anyway, so I'm not going to call Shay Shay on this one. You know, we talk, but I ain't going there on that. But there are people out there that is interesting are going to have to get something done in the near future if they're going to take advantage of this season. A Keyshawn, a Max Kellerman, right? No news on them right now, but football is starting. We're starting to see the guys in training camp practices, right? So that means preseason's coming, which means the games are coming. Skip Bayless is bailing on the preseason. They are not starting up to August 28th. That's preseason basically gone, right? Those 3 games basically gone. So they're bailing on the NFL preseason. But will Keyshawn, will Max, will Shay Shay bail on the preseason or get something done? Because like any business, nothing gets done till there's a deadline. So do y'all believe the report and the hype? Do y'all believe that that's a win for Shannon Sharpe to be alongside Stephen A. Smith for 1 day a week, but then also all the other platforms broadcasting and rerouting everyone to Club Shay Shay? Or do you think, man, they're kind of playing Shannon over there if that offer is that? Because McAfee got his own space and his podcast. Stephen A. got his own podcast and his own space and own show. How come Shannon can't get it? Interesting, because I think of him on that same level as them big dogs, right? Y'all like this as a potential move for Shannon? And if not, let's be real. Just tell me, where would y'all like to see him go?